Good afternoon. Welcome to Muskegon Rotary Club. I'm Dave Alexander. Honored and pleased to be your president this year. Walk-up music is name? Three Little Birds by? What year? This is a trick question. What year did it come out? Close. 77 as an album cut, but as a single, 1980. This is a song that reminds me of the carefree days of sailing. As you hear in the verbiage there, don't worry about a thing. Back in my competitive sailing days with Bill Newman on Aftershock at Muskegon Yacht Club, we always battled the Crandalls, Don and Nancy. We would go out to the Chicago Yacht Club for Lake Michigan events, and there was a boat there that always had Bob playing on the way out to the race course. So it was just it means summer to me. And you couldn't miss the boat because it flew a big white spinnaker sail as it went downwind with an iconic image of Marley smoking a joint on the front. Good stuff. Our program this week also has a maritime theme, the Muskegon Lighthouse Restoration Project. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Susan Crane, I believe, will provide the reflection. We'll do the four-way test at the end of the meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are not slighting the Canadians. We are missing a pole and a base, or we would have the Canadian flag up there. We will get it fixed as soon as possible. Susan.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. As a lighthouse stands steadfast against the wind and waves, guiding others safely through the darkness, may we always be a beacon of hope, compassion, and service in our community. We are grateful for the opportunity to gather today as Rotarians, united by a shared commitment of service above self. As we work to restore and strengthen the lives of others, remind us that every act of kindness, every helping hand, and every effort to serve can shine a light for those who need guidance and encouragement. May we have the vision to see where help is needed, the courage to act when called, and the humility to serve without seeking recognition. Like a restored lighthouse whose light reaches far beyond its shores, may our service extend beyond ourselves and illuminate the path of hope for generations to come. Bless this meeting, our fellowship, and the work that we undertake. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. We can now return to our seats and finish our lunch, engage, network, and mingle. We'll return shortly. At visiting Rotarians, guests, please come to my right. I think Joni's got the microphone for us today. We'll put you on for the program. Okay, yeah. And if you could keep your introductions brief, we would appreciate it.
Okay.
Here we go, folks.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Emily Morgenstern. My guest is Ryan Little. He is the accounts manager at Morrison Industrial Equipment, and he is interested in joining.
Hello, I'm Ben Carson with my guest Jessie Zuber. She taught third grade at Orchard View for 5 years. She's now a teacher consultant for a nonprofit. They focus on literacy in underserved communities. She's also a coordinator for a nonprofit called Michigan Sober Social, and they host events every weekend for people in recovery. She also loves dogs, and her favorite dinosaur is a Brachiosaurus. Welcome, Jess.
Hi, I'm Melissa Horton with the Lakeshore Museum Center, and my guest today is the wonderful Jacqueline Huss, who is the Director of Operations at the museum, and her favorite dinosaur is?
Ankylosaurus.
I didn't want to mess that up.
Good afternoon, Jim Fisher. I'm delighted to have two guests with me today. First is Tim Spoolman, who is the operations supervisor for both Wheelfish as well as Barry's Greenhouse and Landscaping. Welcome, Tim Spoolman. And I'm also introducing Kristen Wade. Many of you may remember Kristen as the HR director for Muskegon County. She retired from Muskegon County and has her own firm now. She is president of HR, Human Resources, Higher Version.
Hello, Chris Vanderstelt, and with me I have the beautiful Amber Peterson. Her and I go back a ways. Our daughters grew up together and still are growing up together. You may remember her as the fishmonger. Wife of fishmonger. And fun fact, she can fillet a fish in 30 seconds. But you will see her at the CVB. She's in marketing and operations. Welcome, Amber.
Amber. Good to see you.
Hello, everybody. Jessie Wild from Harbor Light, and I have brought Kayla Paulson. She is our member experience specialist at Harbor Light Credit Union. So essentially, she's the one that greets everyone. When you get your surveys, she's the one who reads the comments and then brings them back to the team and coaches everybody. So an incredibly invaluable asset to us and our member experience and customer service. So, and she is from the Whitehall Montague Rotary and visiting today.
Good afternoon, everybody. Carla Flanders here. I'm really excited to introduce my intern, Macy Shermetta. And she went to school at Mona Shores. And she is now going to Grand Valley. And she is studying marketing. So this is Macy.
Hi, everyone. Kendra Robinson here, and I am here to introduce to you Miss Taylor Pierce. She is our intern here at the Muskegon Public Defender's Office this summer. She is a graduate from DePaul University. She has a She has a bachelor's in history and sum cum laude. Ooh, I have a smart one. She's currently at Indiana University School of Law. She's in her second year. The president of Women's Law Caucus, former first-year rep of the First Generation Law Association Protective Order Project, and she plans to move here to West Michigan once she graduates. Hopefully that's Muskegon, West Michigan, and interested in joining Rotary at that time. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome guests. A great day to be joining us. My Muskegon Minute today is going to be a recap of the Muskegon Rotary Club budget. The Board of Directors approved the budget on Tuesday for 26-27. That will begin in July 1. Budget is based upon 264 members, even though right now our current count is 270, and I believe will be rising. We have, everyone's going to want to know, where are we at on dues? The dues within the budget will increase 4.9% for regular members from $187 to $196 a quarter. Satellite will go from 101 a quarter to 107 a quarter. Hotel meals are increasing about 6% beginning in January, from $17 to $18, and gratuity increases from 5% up and going forward there. The average budget impact, though, for this year, being starting in July 1 is only 5% because of the split of their year and our fiscal year. The new hotel contract, which is being considered by the board, calls for meals to increase again to $19 in January 1st and 28. We have negotiated no charging gratuity charges beyond what we are going to be paying in 27 for 28. The budget does not propose an increase in guest satellite member lunches. They'll remain at $20. The Rotary International dues for next year is increasing 2.4%. The District 62990 dues will be increasing 7.1%. And we'll be giving Kim Boersma a increase in pay. Committee budgets are expected to be pretty much at the same or slightly increased from where they were at this current fiscal year. The proposed budget, as approved, has a deficit of $27,308. The current fiscal year budget had a deficit of $26,018, but the current projection to finish the year with a deficit well below that at about $9,000, but we still have 3 months to go on those financials. This is just the club budget. And I would say that our assets and cash balance is very strong. We have $183,000 in the club budget or the club finances of assets, of which $58,000 are in checking and the remainder in CDs. Tim Arter, Kim Taylor, Christy Nanningast, and Mary Boyd are working with Roger, incoming president, to look at a 5-year projection on where we're at on both costs and on revenues, and with our current cash reserves that we have. Finally, the board will finalize the 26-27 Muskegon Rotary Foundation budget, our 501c3, and that will come in a meeting in August. So with that, I want to thank Kim and Roger to really putting this before the board and for their support on Tuesday. With that, I'm the introduction of the program. You're going to get sick of me before this day's out. But a couple more weeks, you won't have to look at it again. I am introducing today's program. And that will be on the Muskegon lighthouses and the restoration project that we're doing out there. The U.S. federal government has been involved in keeping Muskegon Harbor safe and accessible to maritime traffic since 1851. That history has evolved over the decades, and generations of those welcoming Great Lakes mariners to our town, or those seeking commerce or refuge in Muskegon, obviously get great utility out of these structures. The relationship between the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the U.S. Coast Guard and the community dramatically changed in the year 2000 when the National Lighthouse Preservation Act was brought forward in Congress and signed by the President. The federal government abandoned the historic structures that had become community icons from the East Coast to the West Coast, Gulf Coast to the Great Lakes. Most of those lighthouses were put up for sale through the auspices of the U.S. Department of Interior and the National Park Service. Local governments were given first right to obtain their community lighthouses, and then nonprofits dedicated to historic preservation, historic interpretation, and community engagement were able to make application for ownership. Ownership, maintenance, preservation plans must be approved by the federal officials and in Michigan by the State Historic Preservation Office. By June of 2008, the National Park Service made available both the Muskegon South Breakwater Light and the South Pierhead Light. The city of Muskegon declined ownership at that time, unlike the lakeshore neighbors, Grand Haven, South Haven, Ludington, and others, which are now owning their structures. The Michigan Lighthouse Conservancy of Fenton, Michigan, in 2010 successfully applied for and obtained both Muskegon lighthouses. The Conservancy is a nonprofit of the Shook family, who are connected long history in their family of lighthouse keepers in the Great Lakes. Michigan Lighthouse Conservancy President Jeff Shook is a walking encyclopedia of the history and trivia of Michigan's 129 Great Lakes lights. Since 2015, a loyal group of Muskegon lighthouse keepers have volunteered hundreds of hours to preserve the lights, provide tours in the South Pierhead Light, engage community with the light's histories, and operate an incredibly nice little lighthouse gift shop on the public pathway to the Pierhead Light. Heading the Muskegon Lighthouse Keepers is a Michigan Lighthouse Conservancy volunteer operations manager here in Muskegon, Kim Lang, a force of historic preservation and love for our local lights. To meet Kim is to be swept into her passion for this unique aspect of Muskegon maritime history, as I did when I met her while part of the City of Muskegon's Development Services team. One of my retirement gigs is volunteering at the Lighthouse Gift Shop and being part of Kim's team. Kim Lang was born in south of here, near Michigan City, Indiana, has experienced the Great Lakes from the other side, on the water side of the lights. She has begun as a Muskegon Lights Tour docent in 2015 and now leads a group of nearly 36 dedicated volunteers. In her spare time, she is an employee of Agewell Services Meals on Wheels and is a delivery driver for them. Kim will give us a short historic overview of our lights. Kim Lang.
Thank you, Dave. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm short.
Speak right into that nice and loud.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Great. Thank you, Dave, for the introduction. Yes, I am passionate about our lights. I'm also a storyteller, so bear with me for a little bit of a story. As Dave said, lighthouses and their keepers reach back in Muskegon's history to the mid-19th century. Over the years, it has changed with the increased demand for improvements of light illumination, channel depth and width, as well as structural changes. The current pier headlight, which sits on the channel, was built at the beginning of the 20th century and is still standing today. When built, there was a wooden pier jutting out past the channel into Lake Michigan. A catwalk, or raised walkway, ran from land to light, past the light, out another 800 feet extension to a fog, horn, and light building at the end. That served the maritime need quite well. Had the light, had the area for the ships to come in. Worked well until there was a disaster. On October 28, 1919, the City of Muskegon, a side paddle ferry and freight ship, was approaching Muskegon from Milwaukee in a violent gale force storm. As it passed the end of the pier, the Foghorn building, at 4 a.m., a huge gust of wind and massive wave slammed the ship into the pier. It instantly shattered and sank. On duty that night was Ransom Jakubowski, who alerted the lifesavers, and then he himself went to the rescue. His heroic efforts, using his flashlight to beam onto the pier, saved many of the passengers. It was the worst ship disaster to ever happen in Muskegon. Ironically, less than 7 years later, the Army Corps of Engineers began construction of the Arrowhead breakwalls that would protect the channel from further disasters. I think the city officials had a lot to do with that. The light was completed and illuminated in 1931 and quickly became an iconic landmark. Its unique shape, fully electric automation, and towering height graced the shoreline. It was used for navigation, but was enjoyed by locals and visitors for a stroll out into the lake or perch fishing. It was a sight to behold. The 97 years of Lake Michigan's abuse of waves and wind and ice have taken its toll on the Breakwater Light. When Michigan Lighthouse Conservancy was granted ownership in 2010, we knew the structure was in dire need of extensive restoration. Through efforts in conjunction with MIM Enterprises, the state of Michigan, and the city of Muskegon, restoration began on September 16th, 1925. MIM Enterprises is returning this week to put up scaffolding to continue the structural and surface repairs as funds are available. It's in the works, but needs a greater push for funds to complete the restoration before the end of the year. I and all 34 volunteers support these fundraising efforts and hope you will donate to our cause. Stop by our gift shop or tour the Pier Headlight for more details and a bird's eye view of the construction across the bay. Please help save our light. Thank you for your time.
Mike will now go to a video.
Built in 1930. So it's almost 100 years old. This wasn't here no longer. It's like another historical thing taken away. You say Muskegon to me, that's what I picture in my head is either one of these lights.
In the 1920s, the city of Muskegon realized how important our port city was to help ships come in safely. So the Breakwater Light was built and put into service in 1931 and has been a beacon and icon of the city ever since.
The lighthouse has not had a major renovation since it was established. So it has been sitting out here in the weather 12 months out of the year, and as a steel structure, it has deteriorated.
South Breakwater Lighthouse suffers the most in the winter with the ice and the waves. The whole lighthouse gets just covered in thick ice. All that water gets in there and then freezes and then just starts to break the lighthouse apart. We've got to do this restoration, and we've got to do it now.
A few years ago, when I was serving as a state representative, I had an opportunity to get funds into the state budget to help restore the lighthouse. The initial estimates were somewhere around $800,000, but it was pretty clear after we started to take a much closer look at what we were working with at the lighthouse that it was going to be much more than that. That's why we've decided to be a part of this effort, to try to find more funding to bring this lighthouse restoration project to fruition.
So this community in the next year and a half needs to raise about another $800,000 to complete the deal. And then for the next generation or two, that lighthouse will be secure and able to continue to be a symbol of this community and enjoy that special relationship that we have with Lake Michigan.
We're well on the way with half of the money secured for repairing the lighthouse. We don't want to let it fall into so much disrepair that it's not able to be rescued. We need to do it now.
We have to preserve it and keep it there so that we can keep that going for another 100 years or more.
The Save Our Light project, it directly impacts our community. When you contribute, it's something that you'll be able to enjoy as well.
Rebuilding it, restoring it, bringing it back to life brings hope again.
That lighthouse has been a symbol and a part of Muskegon for approaching 100 years. It's important for the general community to support this effort so that we can maintain that symbol of who we are.
The community of Muskegon loves our lights. They especially love the Breakwater light. We ask, please help. Please help us save our light.
I'd now like to bring up Denise Szabo, lifelong Muskegon area resident and active community volunteer. She serves as treasurer of the Greater Muskegon Optimist Club, secretary, the North Side Lions Club, is a member of Rotary. Denise currently serves as co-chair of the Save Our Lights Capital Campaign, where she has helped support the fundraising, community outreach, and campaign communications throughout the efforts to preserve the South Pierhead light. Denise.
Good afternoon, everyone, fellow Rotarians and guests. Man, that's such a good video. Thank you to Kindred Marketing and Don Callis. It was good. I get emotional every time I watch it, so bear with me. I'm gonna try not to cry. Before becoming involved with the Save Our Light campaign, I viewed the lighthouse the same way I feel many other people do. It was weathered, a little worn, and honestly, I kind of thought it was charming. It stood at the end of the pier, generations, and I assumed it was always going to be there. What I didn't realize is just how bad our lighthouse was becoming. As I learned more about the condition of the lighthouse, I discovered there were areas where you could quite literally see through the lighthouse. We also had a nice little family of raccoons that had somehow made their way to visit as well. Probably, I suspect Kim probably gave them a tour. What looked like character from a distance was actually significant deterioration. The reality was that if action wasn't taken soon, we risked losing the lighthouse entirely and replacing it with little more than a light on a pole at the end of the pier. At one point, a creative solution was proposed. George Bailey generously offered the resources and expertise needed to move the lighthouse to shore, restore it off-site, and put it back in place. We were pretty excited about it. That's a really big, generous donation. However, a structural integrity inspection revealed that moving the lighthouse posed too great of a risk. If the structure failed during transport, it would never come back. As a result, the project team pivoted, and the only viable path forward became restoring the lighthouse in place. My husband, Terry, attended a presentation given by Jeff Shook that Jeff shared the condition of the lighthouse and really expressed the needs to keep our lighthouse to all the community leaders. When Terry was in the House of Representatives, he had a chance to secure a state of Michigan grant in the amount of $800,000 working with Dave Alexander. How much do we need? What do we need to get there? And at the time, we thought it was $800,000. Finish line, good to go. But we quickly discovered that it was $1.6 million, and we had some work to do. So Terry came home one day and said, "Hey, how would you like to be a co-chair?" I said, "Ooh, more work, I'd love to. Sounds great." But so we quickly co-chaired, and it's really been an amazing experience. So much passion, from the top, everywhere. So I became involved, and we quietly launched. We started having conversations with other community leaders, people, fellow Rotarians, organizations, businesses, and foundations to see what we could do to get there. I'll add that Kindred Marketing, Don, I don't know where you're at here, but big shout outs because they've really done a lot of the work here with the presentations, the communications, and it makes it easier for us as well. The response has been remarkable. Through donations and pledges, we were able to raise $550,000 of the additional $800,000 we've needed. We have $250,000 to go. So it sounds easy. I'll write a check later. Because the lighthouse's condition was so critical, the restoration work started September last year. We used a portion of the state grant to start the work, stabilize the structure, and address the most urgent repairs. So this lighthouse was going to make it through another tough Michigan winter. Many of you may have noticed the scaffolding around the lighthouse as they started the work. So that's where we're at now. Today, we enter our phases of restoration where we'll go public with a campaign. Our goal is to complete the work before winter this year, while also trying to raise a little extra money. So we're also thinking beyond, let's not just restore the lighthouse, put it back in place. We want to think bigger. We want to think the next 100 years. So as I feel good, we'll exceed our $1.6 million. Our next goal is to look at long-term needs. How do we not land in this position again in 100 years, our grandchildren? So our next step beyond this is to hopefully build an endowment for future maintenance and future generations. I'm going to try to do this last paragraph without crying. The lighthouse has guided ships for generations, but also serves as something more. It's one of the first images people think of when they think of Muskegon. It's on our walls, it's in our photographs, it's our postcards, and in countless family memories, graduation photos, wedding photos. It's iconic to us. It represents our connection to the lake, our history, and our community. Saving the lighthouse isn't just about preserving a structure, it's about preserving a piece of Muskegon itself. Thank you.
Before we go to questions, I just want to honor and to recognize the steering committee. First off, our co-chairs, Don and Nancy Crandall, longtime, obviously, supporters of this community and maritime enthusiasts through the Muskegon Yacht Club. And Terry and Denise Sabo. You just heard Denise's reason for getting involved and her husband Terry's initial foray into getting this place saved. Along with them is Mark Hooksema, Roger Morgenstern, Don Kalis, Ron Matthews, Bob Lukens, and myself. And I would just point out that 7 of the 10 are Muskegon Rotarians. We do get involved and support our community. So with that, I'm able to go to questions if we have any. Ladies, you get to help me here. I don't have all the answers. Go ahead.
Yes. Kim and Denise and Dave, thank you so much, and Don and Nancy for all of your efforts. I had no idea, I'm pretty much a lifelong resident, I had no idea that there was a lighthouse as early as 1851. And I'm just curious, and Kim, this is probably for you, what existed during that whole lumbering era from 1851 until the early part of the 20th century?
In a nutshell, the first lighthouse was built in 1851. It was located on a bluff along the channel, kind of near where the Silverside is right now. There's a hillside there. So that light was erected by the government to guide the ships in at the beginning of the lumber era. That light deteriorated quite quickly, so they replaced it in the same location with another structure in 1870. At the same time that these lights existed, there was a pier that jutted out into Lake Michigan at the west end of the channel, at the opening end. They also had wooden beacons on the pier to allow ships to see as they were coming in. They'd see the pier light, they'd see the lighthouse on land. Those continued throughout the lumbering era and the early beginnings of the industrial period. Then in 1903, that pier that jutted out into Lake Michigan housed the new steel lighthouse, which still stands today.
South Pier.
And it is the South Pier headlight.
If anyone wants to see that location, there is something called Lighthouse Park right in there that is kept by the city of Muskegon.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi. So just a voice of support. We were able to go to some neighborhood association meetings together. I was able to tour, if you followed the video series from last summer, and was actually able to go through. And when they were saying you could literally put your hand through the walls in some portions of it, it really is true. And just a reminder to people, that you guys work with businesses to help. There's been local artists that have been offering to do collabs where portions go back to the lighthouse. Also, I have a lot of kids, and I know you guys have had kids that have been offering to do like little yard sales or do fundraisers, or the neighborhood associations, or just groups of people in general. And if they have those, I believe there's still support for helping get the event going and doing that through you guys and through Don and Kindred. I want to make sure that's still going on in the best way for those people to get a hold of you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Any entity that would want to help with the process, as Jesse said, via a little fundraiser, yard sale, bake sale, we're all open to everything. You can contact me through Michigan Lighthouse's Facebook page. That's the easiest, to just send us a message. You can contact us through saveourlight.org, which you have information on the table on locating that.
The ability of this group of volunteers to maintain year-to-year an annual operation is sustainable. They make about $15,000 a year on tours and on the Lighthouse gift shop, and it's growing. That is enough to continue to maintain the two lighthouses. What we need to put an endowment fund together as a community is for major renovations going forward. And we do have the second lighthouse. It's going to be easier because we can put scaffolding up there with trucks around it on the pier head, but that will be having another amount of work in the six-figure category, I am sure, going forward as we try to restore and continue to maintain the Pierhead Lighthouse.
Just a shout out to all of you involved with this effort. Dave knows how I feel about this. It's thrilling to see this is happening. I remember being there with my mother, when my father was working second shift, sitting on the beach, playing with my shovel and the bucket, and I remember that two-tone foghorn that would go off, and you could hear that in town back then. So this is an effort I really think needs to happen. I'll help out any way I can, but thank you very much.
Just as a point of information, there was a qualifier there. Something I learned as we've been involved with this is our brochures, as you can see on the table, Save Our Light. It is not officially a lighthouse because there's no house there. So although we refer to these two structures as lighthouses, they really are lights, and we do need to save them.
Yes, thank you, Nancy, for pointing out. Yes, they are not lighthouses. They do not contain residency for the keepers. That's the main difference between a light, a tower, or a lighthouse. Thank you.
Another question or two? Good. You always have good questions, too. With that, I want to thank Kim, Denise, Don, Nancy, all those who, Bob, all those who have supported this. And you'll be seeing more as the summer goes on. Thank you very much. Speaker's honorarium this year will be a contribution from Muskegon Rotary Club to cover supplies and materials used by our club members and youth from our Interact Club and on their service projects to El Salvador and Honduras. And right, we've got the Honduras trip coming up next week, I believe. So please keep those folks in your thoughts as they go off to serve the world. Birthday slide, please. Do we have, I don't think either of them are here, Eugenia and Dick? But we will sing happy birthday to them anyway, huh? There he is. Yeah. Hi. We're going to sing happy birthday to you. Do we have it? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. As usual, up here we have the ability to give a birthday gift to the Caring Connection using our envelopes here at the podium. There's a QR code, and it is in the rim each week. Rotary in action, Andy.
I'm Andy Belo, and I'm CEO of the West Michigan Symphony, and I joined in 2018. Well, I've been managing symphony orchestras in one way, shape, or form since I was in my 20s, so a long time. And my first senior level management job was as Director of Public Affairs for the Milwaukee Symphony. And since then, basically for the past 25 years, I've been an executive director or a CEO of a different orchestra. But I've always brought that sort of public community awareness to everything that I do. And that really drives my my work in the club as well. Just the desire to make community connections and bring people together and try to break down barriers and silos. Well, I want to say one of the things I particularly value about the club is the fact that there's a lot of different things for people to be involved in. And I'm focused in one particular area, diversity, equity, and inclusion, but I've been able to also participate, for example, in the Peace Builders work and the opportunities for people of both sides of the political aisle to sit down together and talk. And I don't think anybody's changed anybody else's mind about anything so far, but I think what we've done is we've helped to see each other as human beings. And that helps me to see everyone as a human being, even if I don't agree with them on something. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do that except for in Muskegon Rotary because it brings people together. And otherwise, we tend to just get stuck in our little bubbles, you know, and social media helps people to stay in bubbles. But you can't stay in a bubble if you're a member of Muskegon Rotary.
Thank you, Andy. No better way to do that than to mingle, right? As we mingle every weekend in all the events that we are at, fundraisers and activities that we participate in. We are now going to have two inductions, Bev Thiel and Kyle Carcamo, got it? Come up with Lisa and with Greg, and we'll have our introductions. Who's first? Lisa. To the floor.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to introduce my friend Bev Thiel. Bev has been Chief Executive Officer of Habitat for Humanity Kent County since 2019. She's dedicated her career to the not-for-profit sector and is an advocate for racial equity and affordable housing. Bev has extensive experience in operations, a strategic emphasis on administration, efficiencies, and quality. She serves to provide a focus on pathways to affordable housing and sustainability to the organization. Bev is excited to be expanding the work of Habitat into Muskegon. She looks forward to spending time building relationships, understanding the housing needs, and collaborating with community to expand housing opportunities. They have got their first house underway. I think it's getting close to being done. And she happens to spend a day a week, roughly, Habitat, when they decided to move in here, now resides in the United Way campus in the building right next to us. And we're very excited, especially with our focus on housing. Bev lives in Cedar Springs with her husband, Randy, has 2 grown children and 2 beautiful granddaughters. We're excited to have her join us.
Hello,
I would like to introduce Kyle Carcamo, born in Mexico City, Mexico, and then his family moved to Milwaukee, where he was raised alongside some of his extended family and really got ingrained in the Midwest culture. This prepared him for his move to Michigan, which he did just a few years ago after more than 2 decades in Wisconsin. He currently serves as the Director of Operations at Pioneer Resources, where he leads a range of transportation services and community-focused efforts. With over a decade of experience in both nonprofit and for-profit environments, his professional journey has been marked by a commitment to excellence and radical hospitality. He earned his degree in business management and leadership from Wisconsin Lutheran College, the Warriors, look that up, and has spent a majority of his career serving in roles that require trust and the gathering of people for a mission that is lasting and greater than self. His most previous role with Spring Hill Experiences in Everett, Michigan saw him lead the operations of guest services, accommodations, and medical departments. What makes Kyle unique, however, is not simply what he does, but why he does it. He believes leadership is fundamentally about service, whether mentoring young people, caring for guests during critical situations, supporting his staff's growth, or building partnerships within the community. Kyle is driven by a desire to help others succeed. His faith has shaped a deep conviction that people matter and that every interaction is an opportunity to serve with excellence, compassion, and integrity. Outside of work, he serves as a wilderness guide, helping guide youth programs, camps, and continues to invest his time in creating life-impacting experiences. He also, outside of work and volunteer services, without wife and kids, he enjoys spending his personal time coaching soccer and traveling to support his favorite club, Real Madrid. As a member of Rotary, his goal is to bring relationship building and service-driven initiatives that strengthen the community. Welcome, Kyle.
If Kyle and Bev could come up beside me here. Fellow Rotarians and guests, it is a great privilege today to formally welcome 2 new members into the Muskegon Rotary Club. Membership in Rotary is not merely joining a club, but becoming part of a global family dedicated to making positive impact locally and internationally. Rotary International is a family of more than 1.2 million Rotarians in more than 45,000 clubs in over 200 countries worldwide. Bev and Kyle, welcome to Muskegon Rotary Club. You're invited to membership because you embody the spirit of service and high ethical standards Rotary upholds. Your sponsor recognized your potential and introduced you to this organization, which is committed to fostering the ideal of service above self. As a member, you know that you'll be now representing Rotary in our community. Membership involves duties and obligations, including regular attendance, contributions to service and fundraising activities. You'll need to join a committee and become involved in the work of this club and of Rotary International. We promote peace, fight disease, provide clean water, support education, embrace mothers and children, grow local economies, and protect the environment. Locally, we have a long tradition of developing youth leadership among other avenues of community service. Join us in our work and the joy of fellowship. Do you agree to the obligations of membership? We do. Thank you. I formally induct you into the Muskegon Rotary Club. I'm providing you with a pin. Wear it with pride. Here also is a Rotary 4-way test and the objects of Rotary. We don't pin them on anymore, thank God. There you go. I ask you now to take the gift of Rotary and share it with others, specifically inviting someone with your commitment to community and ethical standards to join the Muskegon Rotary Club in the next 6 months. Do you accept the assignment? Thank you. At the end of the meeting, please be in the lobby with your sponsor to allow members to welcome you to the club. With that, I ask members and guests in the Muskegon Rotary Club to rise to welcome the 2 newest Rotarians in the world, Kyle Carcamo and Beverly Thigh. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Photo time. You and your y'all 4.
And together, like we are friends. Like we like each other. Good. One more here.
Okay, no Paul Harris Awards today. On to the announcements. Again, anyone who has an announcement, that would be 1 minute or so. Please come to my right. It will be announcements for Rotary committees or Rotary events. Anything beyond that time, please just share with the RIM reporters, and we will get that into the RIM. Rotary Rewind is scheduled to have its regular meeting June 18th at the Vault Court Plaza. Roger is out of town, but would want me to remind all of you to lend a hand in putting out American flags on Seaway Drive from Southern Avenue in the city of Muskegon to Green Street in Norton Shores and Muskegon Heights. This display is for our country's 250th birthday, a display that hasn't been done to this extent in quite a while. There are now 270 of us. We just need a few in a healthy group of folks who will sign up for a 7 a.m. setup shift or 7 p.m. takedown shift, or both. Meet behind the Frontier Mart, Southern and Seaway. A sign-up genius will be in your email box, and when Roger returns, he'll remind us of all of that. Let's have Party in the Park come up first. Andrew.
Andrew Cutler with Rotary Party in the Park. I just want to let you guys know that you guys did a fantastic job. Thank you for all the help. The night went smoothly. We cleaned up really well. I went back and checked on Saturday morning. It was nice and tidy. We netted $9,883.58 with our efforts. So, again, thank you, and next year will be in August, so we'll have a much easier run-up.
A hand for Andrew again for leading us multiple years. There is a new group that is coming beside him in the 2027 party, so get ready to participate.
Susan Kranigan, co-chair with Linda Juarez of World Community Service, and as you heard with our new inductees who need committees to consider, July 10th, we are going to, the World Community Service is going to have a strategic planning day from 9 in the morning until noon. We will be discussing what World Community Service activities look like for us in the near future. And yes, Honduras is next week, and I will be attending and excited about building a library. So consider reaching out to Linda or I if you're interested in joining that committee and coming to the planning process at my house right next door, 9 to noon on July 10th.
Hi, Melissa Horton with the Retention and Engagement Committee, and we have a new member, Rotary Social, so our two newest members. It's going to be next week, Thursday, on the 18th at 5:30, and we're going to party at Greg Borgman's house. So there are flyers back at the back table if anybody wants to grab them. Thank you very much.
A great porch for a bourbon. Brad, you're up.
You going to be there, Andy? Greg Borgman here on behalf of Caring Connection. We've had a lot of new members lately, so Caring Connection is a committee who's charged with sending congratulatory cards, bereavement cards, get well cards, sometimes flowers or planters. So just if any of you are eyes and ears out there, which we all need you to be, please let me, Dave, Roger, Lisa know, or some of my committee members. Who is on the Caring Connection Committee? Would you stand up? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tennille Woodward on behalf of Kids Food Basket. Food insecurity is near and dear to many of us, especially for our students. So we have a team that has been volunteering at Kids Food Basket. Our next event is July 7th at 10 a.m. And if you're interested in helping us out, just see me and I'll get you ready to go.
Hi, I'm Scott Rudvotes. I'm here with the Sustainability Committee. And first of all, I want to ask you all to please ignore these things I left on your table. I'm told that I violated at least 2 rules of Rotary etiquette by placing them there. So pretend it never happened, and I apologize. But if you're interested in what I'm saying, there's more on the table outside. And I'm here to announce that there's an important meeting tonight happening at the Nellie B. Chisholm School, Middle School in Montague, regarding the cleanup of the 65-year-old DuPont site and the waste they left behind. We have organized a meeting between Chemours, the company that is now responsible for the site, and Eagle, the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, to review the plans that Chemours has submitted. Very important that we get public comment in on this to show whether there's public acceptance for their proposed kind of lack of cleanup plan or not. So if anyone cares about White Lake and Lake Michigan and the Montague area, please be at that meeting at 5:30 tonight.
Hi, everyone. John Noling for Life Leadership and Interact. 50,000 young people this summer around the world of Rotary are going to a leadership conference sponsored by a Rotary district somewhere on the planet. We have one next week that our district sponsors every year, that our club founded. There's 129 students going from 30 clubs, and our club has 30% of that total. We have 39 kids going. We have a school bus. Everybody's riding the bus. It's packed. We've raised almost $15,000, so this is quite an investment, not only of Rotary money, but of some of you in this audience who have donated so that extra students can attend this year. This is the largest group we've ever sent. In fact, they're so excited, one of them showed up this morning at 11 o'clock at the Career Tech Center to go, and the bus isn't going until next Wednesday. So I want to thank this club, our president, our board, and all of you who have gone above and beyond the call of duty to make this a priority for our club. These are our future generation of Rotarians around the world and in Muskegon. And they come back with great experiences and stories. And here's the second message today from Interact Committee. Reese Puffer has almost a dozen students on that school bus. That's because of Reese Puffer alumni in our Rotary Club and their Interact Club. And they have one girl in that club who's a sophomore. Her name is Elizabeth Ramirez Murillo, an outstanding interactor and very active in her high school. She's been selected by the Drug Enforcement Administration to be a student representative from our region at an Orlando conference next month. She's very active in violence prevention in her high school. Her tuition is covered, but not her room and board and her flight. And she does have a chaperone. So Doug Wooden, as our chair of Interact, has agreed that we're going to go after pop cans this week. Now, I've got 5 or 6 bags in my garage, but I'd like to see 100 bags here next Thursday. I'm going to be at the Life Leadership Conference along with Tennille Woodward, Katie Drake, and who am I missing? Myself, huh? Stephanie Tushek. And we are not going to be able to collect those cans. Doug Wood will be here to do it. Would you please help us help her get to this conference? And if you want to go beyond pop cans, let me know, because it's going to cost a couple grand to get her to Orlando next month. She's worth it, and she will be an outstanding leader representing our community. So thanks for any help you might offer.
I just got to say, that is my hero there. I let him go well beyond a minute. I'm going to let you go well beyond a minute, too.
Tough crowd, jeez. Tim Lipan here from the Social Committee to talk to you about an upcoming Clipper cart. I forgot my paper, though. It's back. Homer, bring it up, will you? Come on in. Let's hear it for Homer. Homer, you tired or what? You all right? Thank you. Stick around for just a second, all right? Jeez. When you're at a Clipper game, you kind of lead our dance contest. Can you give us some of your moves or something like that? Not bad. And then we have a sing-along. Do you lead that? Okay. He didn't know I was going to do any of that. All right. Homer is a mascot for the Muskegon Clippers, and on Sunday is our Clipper carload party. So we need you to come and network and have fun, but it's family friendly, so bring the neighborhood, bring the grandkids, bring the kids, but we would love you to sign up. So you got Sign Up Genius from Kimberly on June 10th. Go to your phones, click on the link, and sign up. We'd love to have you there. And Homer will be there as well. Let's give one more round of applause for Homer. Thanks for being here.
Mary Beth, we got a raffle? What are we starting with? $5. $261 for $5 here in the middle. Was that Andrew's hand that went up? All right. We going for 10? Three, 1, 3. 3, 1, 3. For 20. 3, 2, 7. Right back in the middle. Nancy. Our program next week are going to be our inbound students presenting their experiences. After the bell, I'm going to be playing Jackson Brown's The Loadout Stay, as many of us mingle and create that magic of Rotary. It's in honor of the production team here this week. We have Mike, Jay, Kim at home, and the staff here at the Lake House who make our weekly gatherings so meaningful. So members and guests, please rise as we recite the four-way test of the things. Let's unite for good, and be sure to check out Taste of Muskegon this Friday evening and all day Saturday at Hackley Park. Right, Lisa Krause? We are adjourned.